Hello and welcome to episode number 5 of Business Events Decoded. Our guest for today is a special person and known to me very well since quite a few years. He is the Assistant Vice President at Dubai Tourism, where he oversees Dubai business events and the city operations, the official convention bureau of Dubai. Prior to joining Dubai Tourism in 2013, he held a role as director of the Copenhagen Convention Bureau for 8 years. He has served on the board of directors for the International Congress and Convention Association, also known as ICCA, from 2008 to 2014. He served on the board of directors of Green Meeting Industry Council from 2003 to 2007. He was the chair of BestCities Global Alliance, and today he serves on the board of directors of BestCities Global Alliance. He sits on the executive committee of Dubai Association Center, which is an initiative between the Department of Tourism and Commerce Marketing, Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Dubai World Trade Center, supporting international associations established themselves in Dubai. He holds a master's degree in commerce and commercial law from Copenhagen Business School and the University of Sheffield, and one of the nicest persons I know in the industry of tourism. Please welcome Mr. Steen Jakobsen. Welcome to Business Events Decoded, Steen. How are you doing?
Well, thank you, Sushil. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you again.
It's wonderful. I believe you're in Denmark now. You mentioned that, and it looks nice and beautiful there. I would love to hear about your journey into the world of travel, tourism, MICE, business events. Let's go right from the start.
Well, I think I'm one of many that in some way sort of stumbled my way into the travel and tourism and event sector. So shortly after I graduated from university, I got a job with the government in Denmark working for the Ministry of Business and Industry. And my first job was actually working within the maritime industry. So it was within the government departments, but in an office that were responsible for maritime policy in Denmark. Okay. After a while, I got involved in a project that looked at how to support and develop business and industry for the greater Copenhagen, the capital region of Denmark. One of the specific sectors we looked at was tourism, because from a Denmark point of view, international tourism is primarily driven by Copenhagen. Yeah. One thing led to another. I got involved and got to speak to the experts at the tourism board in Copenhagen. After a while, they asked if I wanted to come join them. I thought the time was right. I did so, and then I started in 1999, more than 20 years ago now, my career within tourism.
Wow! So the journey has been wonderful so far. Tell me, you've been with Dubai Tourism. I've known you, I think, close to 4 years now as part of Dubai Tourism. I've been coming there regularly. And in fact, it fascinated me so much that I ended up opening a company there in February last year. And of course, this year, then COVID happened and the whole tourism industry worldwide is in a bit of a turmoil. But Dubai has been taking the lead as far as the world is concerned and opening up its doors. So I'd love to hear your perspective on Dubai Tourism's perception towards business events, and what are the specific industries that the tourism board is looking to target for MICE events, and when do you think things will start looking up with the COVID situation right now?
Well, first let me take a little bit of a step back, because when also the pandemic hit Dubai and the UAE, we had a very early, very strict lockdown in March and April. That was very successful. Following that, towards the end of May and all through June, we saw the economy open up gradually and controlled again. And then from July 7 and onwards, we open our borders again. So for international travelers and visitors, again, to be able to come to Dubai. Since then, Emirates and Fly Dubai, they have been increasing and expanding their route network. At the moment, Emirates is flying to more than 90 destinations worldwide, and they will continue to expand their route network. And that has meant that Dubai is now connecting the world again. We're seeing visitors come back into Dubai, which is very positive. It's obviously not at the level that we were used to pre-COVID, but Dubai is seen as a very safe place, and obviously offering the quality visitor experience that we've done for so many years is driving people back. So that's something that we're very happy about.
Yeah.
When it comes to events in particular, events is in the DNA of Dubai. As you would know, throughout the year, there's a very interesting calendar of various events that you can go to as a resident and as a visitor, whether it's concerts or festivals that are happening throughout the year. Yeah. And also there's a very strong calendar of business events, trade shows within some of the largest industries, technology, healthcare, construction, and food that are happening throughout the year, as well as lots of scientific, technical conferences, incentive travel programs from companies around the world that love to send their staff and their sales teams to Dubai. Weddings as well. That Dubai is very well suited for that, and we get a lot of destination weddings from across the world. And these events, whether they are leisure events or B2C events or B2B business events, they are extremely important for Dubai, and that sector in itself is huge. And also each of those events, they are supporting the economic development across so many different sectors. So events is key to the growth and to the economy of Dubai. That's recognized both by public and private partners. Yes, working hand in hand to ensure that it's successful.
Yeah. Are events, because I read somewhere that from 1st October, Dubai is ready to welcome business events of all sizes, or is there a restriction on the number of people now?
So we've been working very collaborative with other government partners as well as private partners to develop a set of guidelines for resumption of business events that looks at everything from sanitation of the venue to some capacity limitations, how many people can you put in a room, what sort of setup needs to be done, obviously requirements such as wearing face masks, social distancing, requirements for serving of food and beverage, and many other things. And those guidelines, they were issued last month. And they are then allowing for local business events to resume by 15th of September, and in just a few days on 1st of October for international business events to resume again.
But what would be the limitation of number of people? Would it be 50 people, 100 people, 250 people? Like what would be the average group size that Dubai Tourism would now welcome and support?
The approach that we've taken in Dubai is that there is not as such an upper limit to the number of people who can attend an event. I know there are other cities and countries who've adopted that approach. Our approach has been that it's really the size of the venue or the room that you are applying, that you're using for your event, that determines how many people can attend. So there are some guidelines on this as a general rule of thumb. For each delegate, there needs to be 4 square meters of space available. So if you have 100 people you want to put in a room, you got to have a room of the size of 400 square meters. So that's the approach we've taken in Dubai.
I think that would be roughly 40% capacity of the venue as compared to before then.
For sure, obviously that means that there is a reduction in the number of people you can put in a certain type room. What we're very fortunate in Dubai is that we have some amazing venues we have some very large venues that can accommodate some of the largest events. So you will, as an organizer, yes, you will need more space than before if you are looking at bringing in the same people. However, you'll be certain that you can find that type of venue in Dubai as the selection and number of venues that we have is as broad as it is.
Can you tell us about an interesting event that just happened in Dubai after this COVID story? Because I did read about quite a few events that have been happening, and I've been following Dubai tourism closely. In fact, just today on LinkedIn, I tagged Dubai tourism on a post I shared about the wedding we did there in February. We've just released a small sneak preview video of about 55 seconds. So I would love for Dubai tourism to share that video and show people how beautiful the city is. But coming back to the event that Dubai tourism would have done, would you have any insights on that?
So in July, the Dubai World Trade Center, which is our main convention and exhibition center, initiated a very special event called the AI Everything Summer Conference that looked at how the UAE government and the city of Dubai applied artificial intelligence in fighting the pandemic. This was a half-day conference. It was sort of worked as a test conference where a lot of the precautionary measures that I talked about before, venue, sanitation, capacity guidelines, food and beverage being served, contactless transactions, wearing of face masks, all these things that are now in the guidelines, they were implemented in a test at this event. There were about 600 people who attended. It was a very, very successful event. Some very, very high-level speakers from the government as well as private industry. And it showed really a couple of things, very interesting things. One was that there was a huge appetite for people to come and attend this event. So that told us that people will still want to go to face-to-face events. And so we're absolutely certain, of course, that face-to-face events will not go away. The second thing was that even with these precautionary measures that were put in place as guidelines, the event worked perfectly as an event normally would do, providing the platform for education and knowledge being shared, as well as the business networking happening in coffee breaks and outside of sessions. So the things that you go to an event for, which is to learn and to make new relationships and meet people and do the business networking, all that could definitely still happen under the guidelines. So that was also, I think, a very, very important outcome for us. And then, as I said, that test event then served as a test for the guidelines being finalized and being issued.
So moving on, Steen, I want to understand, how has Tourism Dubai innovated and developed to accommodate the ever-growing and ever-changing needs of the MICE industry? Under normal circumstances, at least it's my belief that MICE industry will take a little more time to bounce back as compared to the social events industry, where we talk about celebrations like weddings and anniversaries and birthdays. Like, we are seeing more queries for social events than MICE. But what is Dubai tourism experiencing?
So the situation we're in now is obviously a very serious situation, not only for us in Dubai and the UAE, but for the entire world. And the events industry in general has been one of those industries that has really been hit very, very hard. We must be realistic that it will take a while before we are back at the level that we saw pre-COVID. And even when we are back at the level of the number of events and so on, many events will look very different because there's been learnings throughout this period that have come. There's no doubt that the virtual components that we've become so used to now, that will continue as part of as many events, so they'll be turned into hybrid events. So there will be changes to the events industry, no doubt about that. What's important for us and our approach to this at the moment is that we need, as a government entity, in close collaboration with other government entities and all our private partners, we need to slowly but surely build the confidence back in the international events industry that Dubai is a safe place where you can bring your events to, where your delegates will be safe, the organizer will be safe, and everyone around and involved in the event will be safe. This will take time. There's no doubt that will take time to build that confidence back. But that is what we will continue to do, sending the message that Dubai is a safe place, that we've got guidelines and precautionary measures in place, that all stakeholders across the city are working hand in hand, and that you as a visitor can be certain that all the touch points that you will go through attending an event in Dubai, whether it's the hotel you're staying in, the transportation to and from the airport, the restaurant you go to, the shopping mall that you visit to buy things for your family and your friends, as well as the venue that you're in, that all these touch points, that they are safe, they're clean for you to attend as a visitor. So that's what we'll be working on. You mentioned obviously the social events, the celebrations, and the weddings. They are still suspended in Dubai and the UAE. As soon as the green light will be given for the resumption of those events, we will continue again, go out very aggressively and tell the world that now Dubai can welcome those sorts of events as well. As we know that, especially when it comes to weddings and celebrations, there are so many, and we are experiencing a high demand for this, because we do know there's been a backlog of especially weddings that have not been able to happen over the last 5-6 months or more. So they need to happen at some point. So Dubai will be ready once we can resume such events also.
Yes. What, in your opinion, do you foresee the global travel, tourism, MICE, events industry to bounce back based on the intelligence and the research that Dubai Tourism has been doing?
It's a really difficult answer, because it depends on so many variables. But we're very happy to see that as we move into the last quarter of the year, that we will see a number of conferences and exhibitions that will take place in Dubai, because that is helping restart the events industry. This is because Dubai primarily caters to international events. It's also determined with what are the potential travel restrictions in many of the source markets where visitors are coming from. And we do see at the moment that a lot of travel restrictions have either been put in place for a long time or being reintroduced. Those are travel restrictions that we can't control. We know that cities, countries, and governments around the world, they're doing that to protect the citizens from being exposed to the pandemic. What we've done in Dubai is that with our borders open up on July 7th, visitors from all around the world can come to Dubai, of course, dependent on the travel restrictions imposed by their own national government. But they can come as long as you can show a negative COVID-19 test certificate at the time of boarding. If you can do that, then you can get on a plane and come to Dubai. You don't need to quarantine or anything. As soon as you come to Dubai, you can go out, you can experience the city, you can enjoy the amazing weather that we're moving into now, and of course all the attractions and shopping malls and restaurants that are open in Dubai.
And does one have to take a test when they arrive into Dubai as well? Because I heard it's important to take a test on arrival as well, despite of having a COVID negative certificate when you take off.
So it's a little different. So it depends on where you are arriving from. So there are certain countries, and that's the majority of countries, where you take a test in your home country or the country of your departure. And then you show that at check-in. When you arrive to Dubai, you just walk through immigration. There's no need for any additional test. There are a small number of countries where a retest is needed when you arrive in Dubai. So that's taken care of by the health authorities. It's very quick. You get the test results typically within 12 to 16 hours. So that means that you won't be having to self-quarantine for a long time until your test certificate comes out. and that then can allow you that you can go out and experience the city.
Brilliant. What would be your advice, Steen, to MICE, events, social event agencies in the backdrop of COVID? Right now, I'm guessing everybody is pretty much was experiencing a slowing economy last year, and then COVID came and dealt a knockout punch. And pretty much it has put a lot of companies in this space in the red and at the brink of survival. So what would be your advice to them?
What I've seen across our industry that makes me, I'd say, very hopeful is the fact that the level of creativity, the number of new innovations that have been introduced has been absolutely remarkable, because it shows that our industry has some of the most creative and innovative people that you can think of. So that makes me very optimistic. We're also optimistic that face-to-face events, they will come back.
Yes,
because we as human beings, we want to interact face-to-face, even though it's nice to sit here and talk to you on the screen today.
Yeah.
We would, for sure, the two of us, prefer that we could speak face-to-face, because there's certain things that you just can't achieve when you're doing it virtually. Yeah. So face-to-face events will come back. What I will say to event organizers and anyone else involved in the events industry is that that those that are using this crisis to look at what opportunities can it bring are the ones that I believe will come out of this more successful. Yeah. And we've seen some marvelous innovations and creative solutions. We've seen a lot of events agencies that have used this opportunity to diversify, look at new business opportunities, to upskill and up-qualify their staff, as well as also to look at their business models. Those are the things that you need to do in a crisis like this. You just sit back and do nothing. The future may be difficult, but if you're looking at it, what opportunities it will bring, then we will all, I'm sure we'll see a lot of very successful event organizers come out on the back of this.
Is there any funding that Dubai government or Dubai tourism is allocating for good MICE companies to sort of be able to survive this pandemic themselves as a business?
So in line with support packages offered by the government of the UAE and also the Dubai government to various sectors, from what we've done at Dubai Tourism is to look at where could we also reduce costs for the event organizers. And that has meant that we've reduced or completely waived certain of, say, the cost and event event permit fees and so on, to ensure that is not a financial burden. We're also offering towards international events that are looking at Dubai. We're looking at offering incentives, financial support to help offset some of the cost of organizing the event in Dubai. That's a support scheme that has been in place for quite a few years. We know that this is more important than ever, so that's also available to event organizers that are looking at bringing their events to Dubai.
What are the plans for Expo 2020 or now Expo 2021? The new dates are 1st October to 31st March, 1st October 2021 to 31st March 2022. But is the branding going to stay Expo 2020 or will it become Expo 2021?
So Expo, like many other events, large events around the world, they've also postponed their event. It was actually a decision that was made by all the member states of the BIE, that is the organization behind Expo, and there was an overwhelming support towards the recommendation to postpone Expo till start of in October 2021. The name Expo 2020 Dubai will remain, even though that the dates has been pushed. I know we're working very, very closely with Expo and making sure that we want to support that event to be as successful as possible. And they're using this time to look at, of course, ensuring that once the event takes place, that people feel confident, they feel safe, they're looking at the programming, they're looking at the events that's going to happen, and they're really spending this time to ensure that the event that would already be remarkable and amaze the world will be even more remarkable and an even bigger experience to attend. So I can only say that if you had made plans to come to attend Expo on its original date, you must come when Expo starts in a year from now, because that will truly be a remarkable event.
Tell me, Dubai also has a very vibrant marina scene, especially with the Dubai Marina, with the Marasi Marina, as well as the one at Port Rashid or Mina Rashid. And yachts have become a choice or a preferred venue for many MICE events or social events. Are there similar restrictions being imposed, like the venue restrictions of 30 or 40% or 50% capacity of the venue for those as well?
Yeah, so across all touch points within travel and tourism, there are guidelines being put in place to ensure that that there's necessary social distancing and, of course, sanitation and hygiene and all these matters that are necessary. And that also applies to attractions, to yachts and other things, to ensure that everyone feels safe and that it doesn't become there's a possible risk of being exposed to the virus.
Yes.
But Dubai is with obviously the huge coastline that we have, the amazing weather that you can experience in Dubai, water sports activities, there's an abundance of opportunities. And with the constant investment and development of infrastructure, most recently with Dubai Harbour around Dubai Marina, that will provide berth for more than 1,100 yachts, as well as large international cruise ships that will dock at the heart of Dubai Marina, giving passengers and everyone access to all the cafes, the restaurants, shopping experiences in Dubai Marina. That will further enhance, we're absolutely sure, Dubai's attractiveness as the destination to visit, and especially those that either come on a cruise ship or on a yacht.
That's brilliant. How would you go about enabling the growth of the MICE sector as far as Dubai tourism is concerned? Because Dubai is made, I think, as a city, Dubai may have 125 or 150 five-star hotels and more coming up. I also hear plans about casino licenses being issued to offshore hotels, whether it's islands at the Palm Jumeirah or Blue Water Island and so on. What are the plans in the next 1, 2, 3 years for Dubai tourism to be able to grow the MICE sector?
There's a couple of things that we will continue to do. One is to ensure that we continue to promote Dubai, create the necessary awareness, educate international event organizers and delegates about the opportunities available in Dubai. And that's a key role that we play as a tourism board and the convention bureau to keep promoting Dubai and making sure everyone is fully up to speed on the opportunities that Dubai provides. Second thing is that the support that we offer to event organizers when a specific event or when Dubai is being looked at for a specific event, that's an attractive support package that can help organizers put on a successful event. And then thirdly, we know that the entire ecosystem of different stakeholders and industry partners across the event industry is huge, and everyone needs to work aligned and hand in hand to ensure that we continue to be a successful destination. And we play that role also as Dubai Tourism to ensure that we engage and that we motivate and we mobilize our local industry. So we're working hand in hand, and that's something that we've built up over years. That's not something that will go away because of the pandemic. However, it needs to be reinforced even more as we work our way through and beyond the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Steen. As we come to the end of our show, because we have a limited time frame, is there any advice or piece of advice you would like to give individuals or people aspiring to be part of the travel MICE industry, or any other thing you would like to say to summarize?
Well, first of all, Sushil, I just want to thank you for inviting me to be on the show today. I really appreciate that. I would say that I didn't plan a career within this industry, but I've been fortunate enough to end up working in this industry, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I can only, and I say that to especially the younger generation when I meet. I'm such an advocate and ambassador for our industry. I know that you are the same, and many of the people that you know. But I think it's important that we continue to drive new young talent into our industry. This is what will continue to develop our industry and make sure that it prospers and are moving forward. But I can then only say that once you're working in this industry, you find out how wonderful it is, what opportunities and experiences that it gives you as an individual. I think you're very fortunate, very blessed to work in this industry. So that's something that I always will recommend to everyone that I meet.
Thank you so much, viewers, for watching all the way till the end. That was an interview with Steen Jakobsen, the Vice President and Head of Dubai Business Events, and one of the most wonderful people I have personally known in the travel, tourism, MICE industry. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video and subscribe to our channel. Until we meet again, this is Sushil Wadhwa signing off from Business Events Decoded.